This is KiniNews and I'm your host Prasad. Transport Minister Wee Ka Siong has been accused of misleading Parliament with his answer on the cabotage policy. That's the reason why we saw Lim Guan furious last week. The DAP leader isn't the only one looking for an answer. Now we have the Speaker instructing Wee to explain further.
Did Transport Minister Wee Ka Siong mislead Dewan Rakyat over his statement on the cabotage policy? Let's rewind to September 30th. Wee told Dewan Rakyat that Malaysia's cabotage policy was not the reason why the country was not involved in the Apricot subsea cable project. However, on October 5th, Minister of Communications and Multimedia Anwar Musa said that Facebook and Google bypassed Malaysia for the landing of the Apricot project in view of the unresolved issue concerning the exemption for the cabotage policy. Following this, Bagan MP Lim Guan filed a motion to Dewan Rakyat Speaker Asa Azizan Harun on October 11, requesting Wee to be referred to the Rights and Privileges Committee. On the same day, Asa also requested Wee to provide evidence or documents to substantiate his explanation. In the letter, Asa ruled that the statement by Wee is considered to be in conflict with a written reply by Anwar Musa. As such, Wee is requested to provide an explanation together with supporting evidence or documents. Malaysia's cabotage policy gives preference to Malaysia vessels to, among others, perform subsea cable repairs. Tech giants Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft and Google have repeatedly lobbied successive Malaysian governments for the exemption since no Malaysia vessel could do the job and an appeal process by foreign vessels will delay critical repairs.
Wee has responded and even threw in a challenge to debate Lim Guan MCA's top leader versus DAP's top leader. You know there's going to be sparks.
In response to being accused of misleading Parliament over the cabotage policy, Transport Minister Wee Ka Siong said he had already sent an official explanation to the Speaker and two MPs. The two MPs are DAP's Bagan MP Lim Guan and Bukit Mertajam MP Stephen Sim. In a statement, Wee also said he would further explain in Dewan Rakyat during the upcoming debate between him and Lim. Wee also wrote on Facebook that he was waiting for Lim so they could debate when he's free. Wee's response came after the Speaker instructed him to provide an explanation over his statement on cabotage policy on September 30th, which is said to have misled the House.
Shafi was convinced the reason why Warisan's Labuan MP was charged today was because the party decided not to sign the MOU with the government.
Warisan is being punished according to its president, Shafi Abdal. He said the corruption charge brought against its Labuan MP, Rosman today was linked to the party's decision not to sign the MOU with the Ismail Sabri Yaakob-led federal government. Speaking at a forum on corruption yesterday, Shafi said he was quite sure this would not have happened if they had signed the MOU. Rosman said something similar to Free Malaysia Today. He said he is being charged after the government failed to persuade him to leave Warisan. This comes after Rosman pleaded not guilty today to one count of graft linked to his time as Labuan Port Authority or LPA deputy chairperson 3 years ago. He was accused of using his position as then LPA deputy chairperson to obtain a government contract for a company which his father and sibling allegedly have an interest in.
Speaking to the press after he was charged, Rosman said he saw it coming, especially after he continuously refused to leave Warisan.
The Labuan lawmaker is convinced that his corruption charge today is politically motivated after he refused to leave Warisan and back the current government. Speaking to the press outside the Kuala Lumpur court complex, he said the graft charge had been planned for a long time.
Kes ini memang ada politically motivated lah. Kes ini memang dah lama pun saya diberi amaran dibacakan ketuduhan selama ini dan ianya selalu ditangguhkan.
However, Rosman did not say who was behind the alleged offer and pressure against him when asked by the press. Rosman reiterated that not only would he continue the fight against abuse of power, but he would also back institutional reforms for critical enforcement bodies like the MECC.
Now we have a message from our sponsor. If you don't have time for it, that's okay. Just skip to our next story. We'll be back right after this 2-minute message.
Shellfish, red meat, and beer. If you love indulging in these foods, you may end up with high uric acid level in your blood. These foods consist high level of purine, a substance that will eventually break down into uric acid and be excreted through our urine. It is recommended that the amount of dietary purines should be kept between 600 to 1,000 milligrams per day. Having too much uric acid in your blood can cause attacks of gout. It can also cause kidney stones and blockage in the kidney. The crystallization of the excessive uric acid in your blood can be eased by reducing purine-rich food to only 100 to 150 milligrams daily, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and consuming urinary alkalinizer like Ural. It consists of sodium bicarbonate, citric acid, and sodium citrate that increases the urinary pH and solubility of uric acid to prevent crystallization. Best of all, it's lemon-flavored and sugar-free. Ural, effective urinary alkalinizer. Neutralize your uric acid problem now.
What happens when you're done blaming DAP and Israel for most things? Squid Game has been very popular, so perhaps blame Korean dramas. With that said, this is no laughing matter, and a senator should know better.
Past Senator Muhammad Apandi Muhammad suggested that teenage suicides in Malaysia were influenced by South Korean dramas. He said this during a Dewan Rakyat sitting yesterday after PKR Senator Fatina Siddiq had requested an immediate intervention on the current mental health crisis faced by the nation.
Remaja yang ramai membunuh diri bersetuju atau tidak kebanyakan mereka ni terlalu terdorong dengan filem-filem dan drama daripada Korea ni. Pasal semua cerita mesti ada bunuh diri dalam filem. Dan filem dia memang berteknologi tinggi. Ada menyelibatkan semua teknologi. Bersetuju tak? Maknanya meraja ni bila gagal bunuh diri jawapan dia. Bila gagal bunuh diri. Adakah kerana mereka terlalu terpengaruh dengan drama-drama Korea ni?
Apandi's words sparked uproar on the internet, with many netizens requesting data and research to back his claims. Segambut MP Hannah Yeoh also took to Twitter, labelling the past senator insensitive for his comments. Meanwhile, Bukit Mertajam MP Stephen Sim questioned which Korean films Apandi had been watching.
It appears Harapan's post-MOU honeymoon with the government hasn't been so smooth.
Pakatan Harapan has slammed Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob for taking all the credit over a loan interest waiver for B50 households. Harapan said, initially, the government was even opposed to the idea. However, the opposition coalition presented their case and later made it Article 1.7 of the Memorandum of Understanding between Putrajaya and Harapan. In a statement, the Harapan Presidential Council said they regret that the Prime Minister did not acknowledge that this policy is one of the items in the MOU which he himself signed. They added that the exemption is even portrayed as a government idea. The statement was signed by the heads of PKR, Amanah, DAP and APCO. Last night, Ismail Sabri unveiled the Financial Management and Resilience Programme, which would give households earning less than 5,888 ringgit per month a 3-month waiver on loan interest, as well as reduced repayments up to 24 months.
Rafida Aziz is concerned with how things are going in Malaysia. When it comes to corruption, she thinks it's just getting worse.
Former Minister Rafida Aziz is alarmed at where the nation is heading, with almost daily reports of bribery and corruption at all levels. She said things are getting worse after an allegation surfaced that a police officer had sought to purchase a promotion. She added that the culture has become tainted with the use of incentives, inducements and payoffs to achieve what is desired. Rafida stressed that it is no longer a fight against corruption per se, but an all-out campaign against the insatiable greed of humans in our society. On Tuesday, Malaysia Kini reported that a senior officer is being investigated for threatening to murder a woman. The woman had claimed that she had lent 100,000 ringgit to the deputy superintendent in order for the latter to buy his promotion to superintendent.
Before we go, here are our country's latest COVID-19 and vaccination figures. The Health Ministry reported 8,084 new COVID-19 cases today. This is a slight increase from the 7,950 cases reported yesterday. Meanwhile, as of yesterday, 90.9% of the adult population in Malaysia has completed their COVID-19 vaccination. 94.9% of the adult population, or just over 22 million individuals, have received at least one dose of the vaccine. The Health Ministry has also announced that the booster dose will be administered to senior citizens aged 60 and above, as well as to frontliners who have completed their vaccination at least 6 months ago. In a statement, Health Minister Khairy Jamaluddin said individuals who are eligible will be contacted through the My Sejahtera app. If they do not have access to the app, they will be contacted by phone or SMS by the vaccination centres. He said the booster dose rollout will only involve recipients of the vaccine manufactured by Pfizer, who will receive the same vaccine. And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Prasad. Thank you for watching.